Alright, so today we came here to Fort Adams, another fort here in Newport, and they got cannons. This is an old fort, and we're gonna check this one out. Look at that nice sailboat back there behind me. Beautiful. That thing. I will be posting pictures of these things, the history and stuff, so it could be read about them. You guys could read about it.
Tried us pretty much up until the last year when my relative John Gardner and a couple other folks rode in with a longboat pulling the French in. The British had got a nice surprise that morning when they woke up, and instead of letting those vessels go to us or the French, they sunk them out there. So there's a lot of sunken British vessels in that water. To make sure that that never happened again, Fort Adams built a fort right on the corner. We'll see it better when we get up on the top of the wall, 1799, named after John Adams, our president. Well, the British, again, they're really a thorn in our behinds in our American history, especially when we began. They decided they wanted to come back at us and attack us again. And instead of coming up here, which we had some nasty forts put inside this harbor waiting for them, well, they decided to go down to our capital and burn her to the ground. Being a young nation, that really made us upset. However, we weren't really good at warfare. Keep in mind, we were trained by the French, the German soldier, I'm trying to remember his name, before our warfare. So forts and stuff, we're kind of new at that. So we came up with this project. The government did. It cost about $5 million at the time, which is a lot of money back then, to build 20 forts that went from Maine and then spread all the way out to the west coast. The last one is actually where Alcatraz is on top of. The man that designed those forts, we'll get to him in a second, designed them all. He didn't build them, he inked them out. So if we were going to have a massive land invasion, let's put ourselves back into that time period where the tall ships are out here, they're shelling this fort. If you come over here and you take a look at it, it's kind of hard to see her. It would have been much harder to see it because that earthworks just surrounded that whole fort. So we took a lot of it out because of parking and everything, but that would have surrounded the fort. So seeing it from the bay, they would have been just hitting dirt with their shells. And yes, the artillery coming off, the guns coming off, they had 30-pound, 40-pound charges too, but they're doing no damage to us. So our next thing we got to do, well, we got to get out the longboats. We got to go into a land invasion. You're going to see within my tour why a land invasion would have been impossible for this thing. So we start off, we're coming up on the East Coast, we've got all the earthworks surrounding this. And the first building we come across is actually the redoubt. The soldiers would have been inside of that, along with a couple artillery pieces waiting for you. So when you're coming over that hill, you got that little fortification there, and surprise, the fort sees you now. And in each one of those cannon turrets or sally ports there is a howitzer. A howitzer has the ability, this one had the ability of having canister inside of it. And if you know what a canister is, it's a charge that has 12 balls inside of it. They could double that easily. On top of that, you got our nasty infantry in here waiting for you too to come up over here. So they're popping shots at you off that hill. You can't see them. By the time you get up there, get over into our fortification. Now you're down in the gully where our artillery's ready for you. So they're taking cross shots. You see there's artillery there. When you get closer, you'll see the other wall. They're kind of taking like an X shot down at you inside that gully. The whole time while you're trying to get inside there, you've got a 6-inch oak door in front of you to try to get through. So likely that held rowdy soldiers that were inside of here.
Oh, it's a prison.
Components that make up this fort. You see the front of the walls? This is 5-foot granite. So any artillery shot hitting this, not going to do any damage back in the day. This was shipped along with the granite on the ground from the Lucky State of Maine. Our deep waters made it impossible to pull that down here. Shale, well, that's local. We didn't pay any for that. It's actually very, very crappy, and if an artillery shot hit that, it shatters the glass. The next thing that you'll notice, the bricks up here in the archway. It's a very special design to those. Those are not fire. Meaning there's all heat that are a big part of it. One of the reasons they didn't do that is because if an artillery shell had made its way into that wall, instead of taking that brick and turning it into shrapnel and going into the soldiers, it turns it into dust. A lot easier to replace. The ground itself, yes, I've been doing a lot of Civil War reenactors, rebel reenactors. I've been doing it for a long time. And one of the things I like to tell people is the bottom of the shoes of a typical soldier was leather and had a metal-clad horseshoe on the bottom of it. Going up and down this and that footwear is very hazardous. We were pulling a 6-pound Ames up this. Wasn't so bad going up. Going down, she pulled us. And I can only imagine the soldiers back then having to do that, not just on a nice day like this, but during the rain and the snow. Very hazardous. They did pull the horse and buggies up through here. You can actually see and the mules, the wear out parts of there. There was another floor right here, but due to the fort evolving, we're not putting it back in because we have so much stuff that comes in here. Big trucks come in. This is the only entrance they can get in.
Was it?
Yes, on purpose. Inside here. It stayed active all the way up to World War II. And then, unfortunately, she laid abandoned twice. And for laying abandoned that many years that she did, this thing is still in an excellent condition. Yeah. First time they were going to take her apart and use her as pier mounts and everything. And Rhode Island and the Fort Trusted said, no, that's not happening. So they only really started rebuilding her in the 1990s. Okay. That's when we started getting the cash and the flow to start constructing this stuff. And one of the first things I said, like it did, was the top of the walls up there. But as you walk, I'll show you some more stuff that we're going to be doing. Offices. And we're going to get to go into where we think the commander may have been stationed, going by. If you guys are ever looking to do an event, a lot of stuff is hired out for fixing up the stuff. Volunteers and DEM. DEM takes good care of our property inside here in the south. Oh yeah, I get the keys to all. The south wall. We can manage cleaning it up. Of course, it didn't have any blackouts or stuff.
These were the officers' quarters. And it's the whole row, starting from over there. And it continues all the way down.
Feels like it's like
Not locking us in and locking them out.
Good idea. Yeah.
Alright, so when you guys look around, what you see, we have not done anything to this. This is all original. The hardwood, the sliding doors, the masonry, the hair wall. If you look up, this is how we knew it was the commanding officer's headquarters, because if it's in brazier, that would have been on there. The chandelier would have hung from there. This was the top dog's place. When you guys came in, you notice those big square cutouts in the floor?
Yeah.
Those are not original.
Okay.
Those were cut in the 1880s for creature comforts, because it was very musty and it stunk inside here. So we're gonna step inside of the living room. No, the furniture is not original. That's been long gone. So being a commanding officer or any officer inside of a fort, well, this fort is fully operational. That's a good thing. Not so much a good thing if you're raising a family in here and you're having a cup of tea and someone's gonna run soldiers or an artillery piece through your living room. Every one of these doors, if this fort came under attack or if it was in time of training, opens up. The commanding officer can start shouting down either end. And of course it goes down, whatever you need. Artillery comes up, infantry comes up, whatever. Just to give you guys a little historical facts, there are two different types of artillery in the beginning of the war. There's heavy artillery and there's light artillery. Heavy artillery are the artillery pieces that are mounted and cannot move. The light artillery are the ones that are on the horse and carriage and the limber. However, being a soldier, you had to know how to do both of them. So, along with a lot of stuff with this fort evolving, like I said, it went into World War II, so a lot of this area was housing. You can actually see the old railings where they used to run the electrical wires going through here.
Wow.
We are hoping in the next couple of years to try to restore her back to her glory, so the folks can see what it was like to be in an officer's headquarters.
So that'll be this whole room in here.
It'll be this whole wing,
The whole wing.
the whole wing, we're hoping to do. We'll fall from the floor. Not original, trust me. It was redone in 2001. That's where the original flag stood during the American Civil War. When we first put it back up here, again, like I said, I was a reenactor. I was a lucky young man, and I got drawn to help raise the flag, a very, very big flag. I was with World War II, Korean War, Vietnam vets, and everything. We hoisted her up. And to rebuild. No, that's not a kid's gun. A lot of people say it's not a kiddo gun. No, that's just perfectly serviceable, and we still use it for weddings and stuff. We still pop it off. You guys ever heard the saying, do it by the numbers? Yep. It comes from the artillery. This is the heavy artillery right here. This is not the biggest, but she's pretty big, 24 pounder. There's 8 positions on the artillery. Right there is the number 1 guy, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6 and 7 are at the powder, and the 8th guy is usually the guy ready to replace someone if they drop. Every one of these positions, they had to know. Like, they couldn't just be put in one spot, that's it. Because if that guy drops over there, well, I gotta go over there and replace him. These could be manned with as little as 4 people if it came to, at the time, with casualties. Not recommended. They had to get these artillery pieces, including this one, up in a minute or less. So they had to happen. If you look at the way that this, we'll go over a little drill with you guys.
So the kit back, the actual would slide it back that far?
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that one
Okay,
real
sorry.
soon. So there, if you look back here, this is the vent hole on the camera. This is the first business end before it goes out that end. They would have had an instrument called a prick. No, I didn't pick that up. The gentleman over here would have put it inside there, and the first thing he's doing is he's searching down there and see if there's an artillery shell in there or any remnants of hot material. If there was, the next thing the guy's going to do is he's going to come over to here. This is called the worm. He's going to take the worm. happened towards the end of the Civil War. Some of them.
So this side here was the enlisted man quarters. The tunnels, and they go out to outside the fort.
No, because he designed it like that. Door up top, but not this one. I mean, they didn't want it on top. This doesn't make sense.
And there's the boiler room with the boiler, original boiler still in there. All these walls are granite. They're 5 feet thick. Here you can see the thickness. Solid granite. And here were the doors, the hinges. The side.
If you look to the left and the right, you can see the rifle and the musket ports going all the way down here. We'll take a walk back here. I'll show you guys where the house replacements were. There's one of very many gunpowder / ammunition storage rooms.
You know, at Webinar, I saw metal cracks on the overhead.
They would have been here too. Unfortunately, like I said, this thing was scratched.
Right.
We came in here and took the metal out. There's 2 more of those chimneys.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Look at that,
this is where the houses would have been in place. This is where the trunnion would have been to hold it down. The hole's still there. And if you take a chance, you can look across there and through that tonight, you can actually see the stairwell that they're going to start coming down. And see what's also waiting for you. Another cannon pointing at that stairwell. Wow. To the right.
you ever find any wildlife from here?
Actually, bats come in here during the winter to hibernate.
They will?
Yeah. So, this is one of my friends. This is Mo. Remember I told you about the digging tunnels?
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Okay.
These are scattered all throughout. There's another one right across from here.
Okay.
The guy's job was basically to sit here and listen. And if he heard anything, he'd go right to the engineer. The engineer, I don't know how they did it, would be able to pinpoint where that digging was, and they'd go right out to where it was, and boom. The last result, we're gonna see in a second, if this fort came under siege, we could also implode the wall, so you have nothing to rebuild afterwards.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. This is like the perfect height for you. You can basically stand up. I'm looking-
Just to tell you, this is just one of the small ones that we're taking you down.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the right.
Okay.
Going to the right.
No, I can't stand it.
You can, no, you have like a 8 inches above your head.
More uneven ground coming up. Okay. Yep.
That's fine. I'm just passing a message.
There'll be some rocks. All right, I like to do this as a cool thing to do. If you don't look back, but take the lights and kill them for a second.
I wasn't paying attention. Where's the thing? Oh, right there. It's very dark.
And yeah, we're lucky because we can see that beginning down there. They can't see that down there.
Do you guys already have all these mapped out?
Yes, yes we do. Unfortunately, sometimes a lot of the groups get, they go down there.
Right.
Well, that was the tour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it was great. It's ingenious the way they built this thing. And here's a model of it. And the way they did it is all the pebbles are land, and then where it smooths out is the water. So here is, I'm gonna get a good video of it now.